hit by Neil Turner. So first foul of the ball game is against Turner.
Yes, and Patrick Fairs is matching up against Michael Johnson as expected, and I think it's going to be a real duel tonight between those two.
Look at this alignment of the Newcastle defense here.
Yes, it is a zone. The first time down, they showed man-to-man. A lot of teams do that.
Almost a 1-4 zone alignment. A three-point shot there from Patrick Fairs goes down. People like Fairs, Hubbard and Johnson, their eyes light up when they see a zone. Turner left in the backcourt with it, and Peter Harvey takes over at the point guard spot. They got double high with Lazard and Turner. Bullock playing the wing, but cut out pass there. Hubbard just couldn't control it though, so the ball will stay with the Newcastle Falcons. But interesting to see that alignment next time the Falcons come down the court, because it's one that I must say I've not seen before. Similar alignment on offense, 1-4 set. Again, Hubbard got hands on that ball, so he's going to give Peter Harvey some problems out there. Three-point shot from James Bullock that doesn't go, and we've got a tangle on the floor and a foul. Someone pulled someone down. Who was it?
Yes, I think they called Justin Withers on a little bit over exuberance there on the boxing out.
Boxed out a long way from the boards. They're out about 26 feet. So it is still the Newcastle Falcons ball. It's 5-0 the Illawarra Hawks. And we wait while the game can get underway. The floor's cleaned up. And Harvey again takes over at the point. So look at the defensive assignments there. It looks like the Hawks are almost in the zone. Come out and hit their Michael Johnson, who'll go to the line to shoot three. Norman Taylor got some body on him outside the three-point line, so it's going to be Michael Johnson to go up and shoot 3 free throws.
It's very careless there by the Hawks, and I'm sure that David Lindstrom walking the sideline shaking his head. Not a good foul on his part.
Michael Johnson at the line, probably one of the most talked about players in this land as far as representation goes. He's been a member of the national squad in years gone by, but has never been able to crack it for a spot in the team, and has now made himself unavailable for it. And people look at his numbers every year, and he's a 30 points a game shooter every year, and people wonder why he can't make the national team. But he scores 3 off the line this time. So to open the scoring account for the Newcastle Falcons, it's 5-3. The Hawks have been playing 2.5 minutes. Three-point shot from Fairs, that's short. Lazard lost the handle on the rebound. Johnson chips in for the scraps. And it's 7-3. Well, that was a rebound they should have cleaned up fairly readily, because they had both Bullock and Lazard with good position, but Lazard just couldn't wrap his hands around it. Johnson fires one off that doesn't go, but it comes off to Johnson. Fairs on the end, look for the slam on this. Patrick Fairs knocks one down for another 2. Regulation one-handed jam. Have a look at it again. Easy. And it's 9 points to 3. I know David Lindstrom was worried about the crowd not getting into the game last week, Tom, but with shots like that, they can get into it fairly early.
Yes, that'll keep them right warm.
Bullock doesn't make it. Michael Johnson chips in for the offensive board, can't make the follow-up shot, but Bullock stays with it to grab it in front of Johnson. Immediately stolen back by Hubbard. So a couple of rebounds the Falcons should have had, they've turned over. And good defense there coming from Neil Turner to alter that shot. And we've got a charging foul. We've got a charging foul going against James Bullock. Patrick Fairs held position. There it is there. And David Lindstrom right over the top of his defensive man, gives him a pat on the backside and says, well done, son.
And again, the quickness of Patrick Fairs, he's just so explosive off the first 2 steps.
So again, we've got to get this floor wiped up, but the Falcons have been playing it well, but they've made a couple of mistakes that they might rue. They could be equal with the Hawks at the moment, but they've turned the ball over a couple of times. Three-point shot from Hubbard is short, and we've got a foul on the boards. One of the Hawks over the top, Johnson or Withers. It's Justin Withers over the top of the rebounder. There's plenty of action on the boards. 2 fouls early against Justin Withers. So 2 against Withers, 1 against Taylor to bring up their 3 fouls, and 1 on Turner and 1 on Bullock for the Newcastle Falcons. The crowd starting to get behind the Hawks early as turnaround shot under pressure from Hubbard, but Neil Turner cleans it up on the other side. And it's 9-5. Early substitution as we watch Turner at the replay, but we mentioned Harmison was going to be a starter. Well, David Lindstrom thrown us for a loop again by starting Justin Withers, but Harmison's in there now as a result of Withers' first 2 fouls. Again short on the shot. All the 3-point bombs from the Hawks are coming up short. It'd still be a Hawks ball though. The last couple of opponents the Hawks have had, the East Side Melbourne Spectres and the North Melbourne Giants, have tried to take them out of their 3-point game. Well, there was a mix-up in the defence there. They left Hubbard all alone. No one went to him. It was an easy pass on the inside and an easy 2.
And that's really the difference in the game so far, Phil, as the Hawks have played with a lot more intensity and more sound and fundamental defense than what the Falcons have been able to do.
Screen from Greg Lazard to free up Bullock. Bullock take Taylor on. All the way under the hoop. It was a good move. Took him all the way and used Lazard's big body so well. 11-7. The 3-point shot there for Johnson. He declined it. Hubbard looking to go one-on-one against Turner. Shot over the top mightn't be all that well advised. Neil Turner is one of the best shot blockers in the league. There it is, but he gets it away that time, Greg Hubbard. Over the top of Turner, just as I talk about him, and hits 3 to open up a 7-point break at 14-7 on that shot. Michael Johnson makes his way to the hoop, can't make it. Turner with a tip, but he gets a second chance here and makes it. He'll go for a 3-point play. He was hit on the shot. So Neil Turner doing a very good job on the offensive boards on the last couple of plays.
Well, he had a good game here last year. He was one of the few people in the league to give Norman Taylor some trouble last year, causing him quite some difficulty, and already he's made a difference in one of Norman's shots.
Neil Turner, 6'11" and very much baby face, but hitting 3 points there to give him 5 points for the game. In the corner, Johnson, that's for 2. Can't make it though. Comes up with nothing as Lazard grabs the board. And if Bullock and Lazard can do their jobs, there shouldn't be too many second shots for the Hawks. Both an excellent rebounders, and this fellow Turner does a pretty good job as well. Oh, hit. Taylor got a good arm there on the top of James Bullock to send him to the free throw line. And the Hawks racking up early fouls. That's 5 against them now, but 2 shots on this one as Taylor hits Bullock. So 2 fouls Taylor, 2 fouls Withers. Might make Coach David Lindstrom alter his thinking about the way he's going to play this game, as James Bullock can't score off the free throw line.
Well, that's right. The Falcons aren't playing all that well, and they're right in it, and the Hawks have got to start thinking a little bit now and not be so easy with those fouls.
2 misses for James Bullock. So they're not getting what they should have got. But it's still 14-10. The Hawks in front by 4. Open shot for Johnson, but he can't make it as they closed on him. The 3-pointer there for Greg Hubbard. It's off iron and fell for an easy bound for Neil Turner. So a chance here for the Falcons to sneak a little closer as Lazard takes on Norman Taylor and misses. And a miss there from James Bullock. So a couple of ones that they perhaps should have made. It's been a story of lost opportunities so far for the Newcastle Falcons. And Peter Harvey gets a hand there on Chuck Harmison. Harmison gets the 2 on the continuation and will go to the line as well. See Harvey just reach out there and bump Harmison on the way. Harmison with too much size for him, and the bump was not enough to stop him. So that's the 3rd team foul against the Newcastle Falcons. It's 16-10. But Tom, the way this game's been played so far, Newcastle should be in front.
Well, they have. They've had all the opportunities, and that seems to be the way it's going for Newcastle this year. They should have converted at the other end. They lost 2, and instead they gave up 3 down at this end.
Now the Hawks extend their defense a bit. And Bullock again lost a handle on it, so they've turned it over way too many times. They might rue that towards the end of the game. And there's a foul over the top from Neil Turner as he tried to block Rod Johnson's shot. Johnson was strong enough to make the 2 and will line up for another 3-point play.
And there's where some of the year's difference has made a big difference. Rod Johnson used his body very well, knew he had 7 foot coming at him from behind, and just managed to screen him off for the use of his body.
Turner's 2nd personal foul as timeout's called here at the Snake Pit. 5:28 to go in the 1st quarter, and the Hawks with a 9-point break at 19-10. And whilst you can't see Norman Taylor and Chuck Harms in that picture, they're out there on the floor. So 3-point play to Rod Johnson opens up a 10-point break. Harvey tries to go past Fairs, but that's a fairly difficult job to do because Fairs has got more foot speed than anyone in this league. Neil Turner takes them on and scores with a nice touch on that one. Good soft touch from the big man.
Yes, Patrick Fairs had him before. They put one of the Lillard men on him, and that time Turner decided, well, if I got him that little, I'll go to the basket.
Greg Lazard working on defense on Norman Taylor, and Taylor dishing on the outside as they closed on him, and it worked that time as they opened up Chuck Harmison on the outside. So as the defense collapses, so do those scoring opportunities open up on the outside. 22-12, a handy 10-point break for the Hawks.
And now Patrick Fairs has gone back on Turner.
Plenty of switches up in defense as Turner looks to make the cut, and Bullock trying to go to work on Norman Taylor. Gets the shot up over the top and makes it fall. So a pretty good roll there for James Bullock, and it's 22-14. Fairs on the outside to Johnson. Again, they kept plenty of ball move, but only into the hands of Turner. Did pretty well to control that, and finally into the hands of Johnson, and that will be a score. 22 points to 16. I thought there might have been a foul in that one. There was a bit of a reach in there. I thought I heard a whistle, but I think there was a whistle in the crowd. Easy baseline drive to Greg Hubbard, and a dish off in the end to Norman Taylor. So a couple of times they've really opened up on the baseline. There's the handoff there. It was a good handoff from Hubbard to Taylor. And it's 24-16. Harvey saw that space there for a moment, but it closed up as he couldn't make the shot. Hubbard finds Fairs, and Fairs, oh, that's pinned. And it's called goaltend, so 2 points will go down to Patrick Fairs. The referee said it touched the board first.
And the Hawks have already had about 3 times as many fast break opportunities than what they had all last week.
But there wasn't a lot in that particular goaltend either. Not that there's much in any of them. Lazard working on the inside and strong enough to go over the top. Might have got a hit from Rod Johnson as well. 26-16. Norman Taylor spins past. And another goaltend. Another 2 points to Norman Taylor, as I think it was Neil Turner that got a piece of that one on his downward flight. So 2 goaltends in a row is something you don't often see. Bullock, good baseline drive from him to take the defense on and score against them, but it's still the Hawks by 10 at 28-18. Patrick Fairs launches for 3 and can't make it as the Falcons fight each other on the boards with Lazard and Bullock, but the scraps fell for Turner. So Lazard to work against Taylor again, and a travel, trying to take him on and trying to get Norman Taylor into trouble, but turning the ball over. Oh, gee. Bullock gets a good bump on Greg Hubbard that sent him into the Newcastle Falcons bench. So we've got a substitution taking place. You see the bump there that Bullock got on Hubbard. And it's called a technical, James Bullock, which sends Hubbard to the free throw line. So Bullock has 2 personals as a result of the technical, and Hubbard will get to shoot 2 from the line. It'll be the Hawks with possession. So that won't help the Newcastle Falcons cause at all, because you could be looking at a 4 or 5 point play here. Hubbard grabbed the 2, and now they get possession, a chance of making 2 or 3 more. 5 team fouls apiece, 30 points to 18, so a big break in the opening quarter. Patrick Fairs, as Johnson closes on him, faked the pass into Taylor, but Lazard had the hand round in front. So they move the zone across as Fairs straight through the middle, has it blocked there by Lazard, was a good one, but Taylor over the top, got the scraps. So they've got some leapers, this Newcastle Falcons team, between Turner, Lazard and Bullock out there as well, but they've given up some points underneath. 32-18. Pass that was meant inside to Harvey from Johnson came adrift.
Well, that's it. Newcastle's getting the first man of the ball, but they're not getting the second and third to help out.
So Johnson inside to Turner with the return pass. Not too much for Michael Johnson, but he gets one off here and it's way too short. Hubbard off and running, tries to thread the needle, and it falls in turn for Hubbard, and 2. Greg Hubbard held that up so well under the outstretched hand of Neil Turner. And it's 34-18. Have a look at that. Good shot.
And as I said, I think it's that kind of a year for Newcastle right at the moment. Nothing dropping their way.
Turner, little screen and roll play to Lazard, and a slam was a big two-handed slam with a lot of purpose. 34-20 as Lazard has 2 points for the ball game. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter. It's been all Hawks. Fake there from Hubbard to open up underneath. Can't get the roll there. A tip from Harmison that doesn't go. And Bullock breaks it out of the backcourt. This is Harvey on the left. Turner looking for the shot over Rousel, looking to take him on now, and dumps outside for a 3-point shot from Peter Harvey. Short with it, but it's Bullock on the other side with a finger roll for 2. So the hooter you hear is for a substitution coming from the Illawarra Hawks. Justin Withers coming back in, and he's going to take out Norman Taylor. So Withers with 2 fouls comes in to take out Taylor, who has 2. They got them very early in the quarter. 34-22.
It really is a difference. Harvey's had a number of scoring opportunities, hasn't either gone for them or converted them. The Hawks getting balanced scoring from almost all their players.
They balance it up on offense to open up Hubbard for 2, and he connects it. Hubbard having an excellent start to this game. 36 points to 22 as we're inside the final minute of the first quarter, but that's a soft foul, a cheap one, going against Peter Rousel.
Young Dean McDonald's in for one of the few times this year.
Yes, I don't think we've seen Dean McDonald on the court at home, but it's going, that foul from Peter Rousel has put Peter Harvey at the free throw line to shoot 1-on-1 with both teams in the penalty. 16 fouls against the Illawarra Hawks, 5 against the Falcons, as Harvey connects off the strike. 36-23. And yes, Harvey playing the traditional point guard role and not firing up too much from outside. Gets 1 of 2. Bullock's tips don't go. And McDonald's outlet pass finds Hubbard. They got plenty of numbers down the floor, and Patrick Fairs gets 2. He was hit on the shot as well, and Fairs will go to the line. So 16 fouls against the Falcons now, but 30 seconds left in this quarter. And 38-23. Well, have the Falcons dug themselves a grave early in the game that they won't be able to get out of?
It's going to be a long way back from here, Phil. It's going to take some real streak shooting by people like Michael Johnson, who so far hasn't been too involved in this game.
Fairs makes a 3-point play of it. That's 39-23, yes. Johnson's had a blanket on him. Here he is with the ball now, and a chance to shoot, but it was a long way out, way too short with it. And Hubbard, Fairs was waiting for it up court. Hubbard didn't spot him. So the Hawks work it down for the last shot. 10 seconds left on the game clock. More than that left on the shot clock, so... And Fairs lost the handle on it, and Hubbard, well, everything going the Hawks' way in the first quarter. 41 points to 23, a huge score from the Illawarra Hawks in the first quarter, and they open up an 18-point gap. Back in a moment. Just one change to the Newcastle Falcons starting lineup for the second quarter. Peter Hill's out there, and Neil Turner's on the bench. Turner, who top scored for the Falcons in the first quarter with 7 points, is on the bench, and Peter Hill brought in for some outside shooting, but trouble's already for them as Chuck Harmison gets the pass inside and against no defense scores it. Look, it was hard to find a black singlet anywhere, and it's 43-23. 13 first quarter points for Greg Hubbard, 12 for Patrick Fairs, but Greg Lazard comes back and scores for the Newcastle Falcons. 43-25. Dean McDonald has been rewarded with a second quarter starting spot. Justin Withers is on the bench, and Norman Taylor's taking a seat as well. Fairs to McDonald.
Chuck Harmison given the job of the inside man in place of Norman Taylor now.
Bit of a luxury here for David Lindstrom to be able to sit Withers and Taylor, especially with a 20-point lead. as Chuck Harmison can't hit that one, and Michael Johnson chips in for the rebound. That'll be good for Dean McDonald's development too, to get some court time. Player of the future. And what have we got here? I think it's a blocking foul against Chuck Harmison. They're going to send James Bullock to the free throw line.
It is on 6, Chuck Harmison.
So Chuck Harmison's foul is the first one of the quarter.
David Lindstrom disagreeing, but I think it's the right call. I don't think he ever got his feet into the right position.
He was always in trouble. Bullock took him on with a quick move, and Harmison wasn't ready for it. And Bullock, who missed 2 straight in his first trip to the line in the first quarter, looking to do something better than that, can't hit. He does line up a little offset. If you notice, he's closer to the left-hand side than he is the right. He's certainly not in the middle of the free throw line. And obviously not a confident free throw shot. Anyone who does anything different, always concerned about. So he's 1 of 4 off the free throw line, and it's 43-26.
And the Falcons have come out now in a man-to-man. They've got to get back into the game and shut off the Hawks several times down.
Fairs gets one way over the top of Peter Harvey. I'm not sure Peter Harvey's the right man to take on Patrick Fairs, because one, Harvey doesn't have the size, and Fairs, with his size and his leaping ability, pretty tough man to stop for a short player. Johnson dumps on the outside to Hill. He's a three-point specialist. Plenty of body on that one, and I think we're going to send Peter Hill to the free throw line.
Call on 24, Dean McDonald.
That one goes against Dean McDonald. So Peter Hill at the line.
Hill goes to the strike.
Peter Hill, who from memory up in Newcastle either last year or the year before, knocked one in from full court. But as you see, he has difficulty putting one in from the free throw line. And in fact has difficulty putting 2 in from the free throw line. But they do get the ball back. It is Hill with the ball and losing it. So he's come off the bench a bit cold. Shaky off the line and then turning the ball over. Harmison straight into the hands of McDonald. 45-26 the Hawks lead. It's Lazard on Harmison. Fairs for 3 again. Finding it pretty easy to get the shot off. And the scraps fall to the Newcastle Falcons.
And I don't think the Hawks have really adjusted that the Falcons have come out of that zone.
So it's the reverse at this end. It's Fairs on Harvey. Johnson backing up inside Rod Johnson. And a substitution taking place with Dean McDonald going out and Justin Withers coming back. And we should see that shot there from Michael Johnson, who hasn't been able to get free too many times in this game.
Yes, I'm surprised, really. He hasn't used some of his height and gone down low against Rod Johnson, seeking to post him up a bit.
Double high post for the Illawarra Hawks as they spring Peter Rousel. Fairs backing up there and posting up against Peter Harvey, and he's having a bit of a picnic. Just with his point scoring ability, his athletic ability, he has 16 for the game.
And I think they've figured it out now. It's not in the zone.
Lazard opens up here for Peter Hill, but he wasn't able to get the shot off as the defense closed on him very quickly. Bullock took a long time to get a grab on that one and takes it up there and scores it. We're going to see a foul on it. Yes, we have. Foul on Rod Johnson, and it's going to be Bullock to go back to the free throw line. It was a slow call from the referee, or not a particularly audible one. I saw him put his fist in the air, but I didn't hear a whistle. 47 points to 30. James Bullock again at the free throw line. And again a miss. So 1 of 5 off the stripe doesn't help the Falcons' cause. As Rousel finds himself with Michael Johnson in front of him. Has to use the screen of Chuck Harmison on a runner. That's a tough shot to try and make. And Bullock breaks it out of the backcourt. Johnson streaking up on the left. And that's better play from the Newcastle Falcons. They really worked the break well. And the thing was that James Bullock pushed it out of the backcourt quickly.
Yes, it's the first time they really looked interested, like they were going to take the game at the Hawks.
Another substitution coming from the Hawks with Chuck Harmison sitting and Norman Taylor coming back. As the game is at the 15-point margin now, 47-32.
The Hawks have gone back to a starting lineup now. just have lost that bit of momentum that they had earlier.
Taylor, double teamed, someone had to be open. Johnson for three, and he can't hit it. Lazard with the rebound. And let's see if the Falcons can eat into this lead a little bit. Still got Rod Johnson on Michael Johnson. Bullock saw some space in front of him and took Justin Withers on, who gave him the first step, and up it went, and timeout called by David Lindstrom as he watched that 20-point break come back to 13. It's 47-34 after that particular shot. So Rod Johnson gets the ball game underway again after the timeout. Just what changes the Hawks may spring here as they have that lead reduced to 13 points. Inside they go to Taylor. Over the top of Lazard, way too long with the shot. James Bullock controlling the board, off and running again, but they haven't got the numbers this time. Bullock stops and pops though and can't hit it. Lazard with a big board and takes it inside and scores. So Lazard can come up with a 3-point play and reduce that margin to 10.
Yes, and Lazard and Bullock really turning out to be an awesome twosome heading down the court now. In this quarter, they've decided to get back into the game.
That's the third personal on Justin Withers, so there's a problem right there for the Hawks. As the Falcons come back, and Greg Lazard can't make it off the line, so really they've given up half a dozen points off the line that could make them awfully close. Withers looking to post up against Bullock. Lazard has the job on Taylor. And here's Withers. Taylor looks for it outside, takes it to the paint and has it blocked by Lazard. Straight up the court to Michael Johnson, and there's another two, and they've looked very good on the break. Good recognition there from Peter Harvey. And it's 47-38 and the Hawks are going cold. For Taylor again, Lazard behind. Shot here for Greg Hubbard, and Hubbard hits. It's about his first shot of the quarter, isn't it?
Well, they certainly needed that. They've fallen into a hole. Overconfident. The momentum's definitely gone towards the Falcons. Let's see if they can keep up their roll here.
Hubbard who led the scorers in the first quarter. Michael Johnson comes back on a runner. That's a tough shot. And it's 49-40. Substitutions taking place. It's Norman Taylor going out. Chuck Harmison coming back. So they've left Justin Withers there with three, but Taylor might just take a short breather and come in and take Withers out again. Fairs advancing the ball against Harvey. They've got to look for the mismatches, and Fairs and Harvey is one. Withers over the top of Bullock. That's a tough shot. That's the one that Justin Withers does so well. Takes it in first time.
And bumps the man with his body on the way up.
Harvey under some pressure from Rod Johnson, but advances the ball to half court well. Hill. They could use Peter Hill's outside scoring punch, and Lazard, good shot over the top of Chuck Harmison. Showed a nice touch on that one.
As long as he can keep from traveling, the Hawks are going to have a hard time holding him.
51-42. 3-point shot from Withers, and can't make that one. He hit 3 of 4 from outside last week. Chance here for the Falcons to get it back to 7. That'll be a Falcons ball out of bounds. It was Rod Johnson that got the last touch on that one. Johnson, a pretty popular name in American basketball, Tom. We've got a couple here on each other. Bullock to the baseline, sends them into the air and can't hit off the glass. Harmison won the rebound in front of Lazard. Bears. Plenty of ball movement, sticks it outside to Chuck Harmison and opens it up. There's a lot better play from the Hawks to go in and penetrate and open up the first time shot.
Yes, and Patrick Fairs is having a real big game. He's the difference in the two teams right at the moment.
Peter Hill stopped there by Fairs, and Lazard inside, and a cue charge, no basket. Justin Withers held his ground well. The foul will go against Greg Lazard. And we're going to see another substitution to see Norman Taylor come back. But I said Withers held his ground. It was Chuck Harmison, actually, who took the good defensive position. Withers it is who goes out to make way for Taylor.
That one really wasn't too subtle a charge.
So Greg Lazard, just with 2 fouls against his name. Chuck Harmison off a good feed there from Norman Taylor. Opens it up to 13 again when it had been 7. 55-42. 4:30 to go till half-time. There's been a better second quarter from the Newcastle Falcons. They trail by 18 at the first break. Michael Johnson gets it up there and makes it. So finally he hits an outside shot. And it's 55-44, but it's these 3-point bombs they want. Norman Taylor over Lazard, and good defense from Lazard, and that will be a Falcons ball. Lazard's got some springs. We've already seen him block a couple of shots, and we've got a bit of a hold-up in the game.
Yes, this will be a warning for Norman Taylor for throwing the ball away.
A delay of game warning, and the court announcer making the announcement so that all players on the court know the next one will be a technical foul. Johnson on the turnaround against Greg Johnson, who got hit on it, and it'll be Michael Johnson to go to the free throw line. So the foul on Rod Johnson is his second, but it is the 5th team foul against the Illawarra Hawks. There's only been one against the Falcons. Gets him caught time at the expense of Rod Johnson.
And I think Michael Johnson has really woken up to the fact that he has the ability to take the ball over the top of Rod Johnson and go with it.
And he can't hit off the line. Now, he is a very good free throw shooter.
Well, he canned his first 3.
So they've really missed some opportunities off the line in his first half. Gets 1 of 2. And it's 55-45. The Falcons have only had 1 win this season, and that was at the expense of the Canberra Cannons in Newcastle early in the year. Shot from Patrick Fairs. He got hit on it by Peter Harvey, and Fairs will go to the line to shoot 2. So 3:40 to go in the first half. And the game there really in the balance at the moment after the Falcons had that horror start, but have really picked up the tempo in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
And you really do have to wonder why the Falcons keep persisting with young Peter Harvey on Patrick Fairs. Patrick has just shown that he can blow past him any time that he wants.
Fairs is having an excellent game. Hubbard, who had 13 points in the first quarter. Fairs had 12, but he's added plenty in the second quarter. A little bit of extra practice there for that young boy. Maybe he's getting some inspiration from Patrick Fairs as he hits 2 off the free throw line. And a 12-point game at 57-45. Fairs looking to put some pressure on Harvey, and a help out there from Greg Hubbard. The double team at half court. A steal and 2 more. Hill this time to bring the ball up. Gets past Hubbard. Lenny Lembo on Michael Johnson. Arches it up and can't make 2, but James Bullock on the other side can't make it, and it'll be Chuck Harmison with the foul to send James Bullock to the line again.
And Bullock and Lazard are really dragging in the fouls now, much the same as what Norman Taylor usually does for the Hawks.
2 on Harmison, 2 on Taylor, 3 on Withers in the front court for the Illawarra Hawks. And James Bullock, let's see what he can do off the free throw line this time. 1 of 5 from the line. He really is struggling from there. And it is so much a confidence thing off the free throw line. And his confidence right now from this particular position would be absolutely shot to bits. Finally, he makes one. 59-46. 13-point ball game, but could be so much closer with some free throws. Harmison outside with Fairs. Look for Taylor underneath. He's got Lazard behind him, who's done a pretty solid job in that department. 3-point shot from Greg Hubbard, and he can't make it, and Lazard beats his teammate James Bullock to the board. They advance the ball quickly, but the transition play worked in favour of the Hawks there. They were back quickly on defence. Lazard working on Taylor, and again he shows that nice soft touch. Short with the shot, but the touch is soft enough just for it to fall over the hoop. Have a look at this. A couple of bounces and nice and soft and down the hole. Back at the other end, it's the Hawks missing, and Bullock again breaking it out of the backcourt. But they have to pull it up again and play some half court. 59-48, 2:20 to go in the half. Bullock looking to go inside. Harmison sends him into the air and makes it. Good move.
Yes, good footwork, good fake in there. Just too many moves for Chuck Harmison.
59-50. Big fake there from Patrick Fairs. That's a tough shot. Because the defensive man stayed right with him. And Fairs just too good for two at 61-50. Making life difficult here for Peter Hill as well. Lazard here to work on Taylor. The little left-handed hook goes up. Again, that soft touch. He's had 3 or 4 already tonight that he's just thrown up there nice and soft. They haven't been clean, but they've fallen down the hole. We've got a foul against Peter Hill. It'll be a side ball from the Hawks because it's only the third team foul against the Newcastle Falcons for the quarter.
The Falcons, who couldn't buy a basket for the first quarter, now starting to have things drop in for them.
61-52. A minute 40 to go till half time. Haven't seen anything from Lenny Lembo yet for the Hawks. He's struggled all year. Harmison, no shot there as the defense stayed. James Bullock on him. Lazard playing right behind Taylor. They are right across court to Lembo. Looks for the move, pulls it up, gets the shot up, and just can't make it. And a tip. Norman Taylor. 63-52, and that's a tough job to tip one in over Greg Lazard. The steal again to Hubbard. He's got Lembo on the right. Lembo, that's better, Lenny Lembo. He knows the ball will go through the hole for him now. Maybe it'll open up. 65-52. Again, it's out to 13 for the Hawks. Inside the final minute of the first half. Backdoor cut there from Rod Johnson was well read by Taylor. And a travel at half court from Patrick Fairs. And the Falcons looking to try and counterpunch. 2-point shot from Rod Johnson, but nothing. Way short. Patrick Fairs up the floor, floats and hits. 15-point game at 67-52. Remembering it was 7. So they could go to the halftime break with a similar lead to the one that they had in the first quarter. It was 18 points. 20 seconds left on the clock till halftime. Bullock floats along the baseline, can't make it, and it falls for Patrick Fairs. Breaking out of the backcourt to create numbers, 4-on-2, and losing it. Harvey, 7 seconds left for the Falcons to get a shot off. Inside they go to Lazard, and 2 more. Well, that wasn't a halftime hooter. There's still 2.5 seconds left on the clock, and the Hawks are going to make a substitution with 2.5 seconds to go. No, they've changed their mind. They've got Peter Rouse ready to come in, but he's not going to come in with 2.5 seconds left. Taylor, will he launch one for 3? But that's way off beam, that one from Norman Taylor. So there's the halftime hooter finally, and it is a 13-point break at halftime. It's the Newcastle Falcons 54, trailing the Illawarra Hawks 67. As the second half gets underway here at the Snake Pit, that's a big win on the tip there from Greg Lazard, who really made sure he slapped that one back to Peter Hill.
It might be a good sign for Newcastle to show they mean business to start off this second half. A very casual start in the first half put them in a big hole.
And we've got a foul here against Chuck Harmison that's going to send James Bullock to the free throw line. One change in the Newcastle Falcons lineup in this second half is Chris Steele's out there in place of Peter Harvey. Just a little bit more size from Steele. But James Bullock at the free throw line, who hit 1 of 6 from the stripe in the first half. In fact, as a team, they shot 8 of 18. But starts off the second half so much better. I wonder if that's going to be an omen for the Falcons. Looking through the percentages, they shot 52% from the floor, of the Hawks 54%. But a big difference in the number of shots taken, 44 against 54 that the Hawks took. But the other big factor, Tom, is they only fired off 2 3-point shots and didn't hit either of them, which is not a way you can win a ball game in this modern National League.
No, and the Hawks renowned for the outside shooters.
Talking of 3-pointers, that almost took the long way down, but finishes up in the hands of James Bullock. The Falcons out-rebounded the Hawks in the first half at 24-20. Bullock gets one away off the free throw line and hits. So maybe you should shoot jump shots off the stripe. There it is. Never looked like missing. 67-57. Rod Johnson for 3, and he can't hit. Bullock controls the rebound and again pushes it quickly out of the backcourt. They look so much better when they try and run, but the Hawks are fairly quick in transition and don't give them that many fast break opportunities. Steele He fires one up there, and she can't hit it, just a little bit short. That was his first shot of the ball game. Hubbard for 3 for Patrick Fairs. Can't make it, and again it's Bullock with the rebound. He's done a superb job on the defensive boards. Michael Johnson got hit from behind that time by Greg Hubbard. Just looking at David Lindstrom to see if there's any reaction. There was a strong reaction from Hubbard, but Lindstrom just stood there nodding his head. Said, okay, I agree with that one. But it's a 9-point game at 67-58. Hawks haven't scored in the second half. The Falcons have scored twice, and Michael Johnson short with that one. Johnson, who had 16 first half points. Patrick Fairs over the top. No basket, the ref says. It's going to be a charge against Patrick Fairs. Said Chris Steele got good position and said that the ball didn't leave his hands before the charge had occurred.
Well, I think that's going to wake up the crowd here at the Snake Pit. And the Falcons coming back with a good start here in the second half. It's down to the trenches warfare again.
Back to 9 points. They cut it to 7 at one stage in the second quarter. Looking to Lazard underneath, and they find him this time to work against Taylor, and gets it up and in. So what a difference a week makes. Norman Taylor, who had 54 points last week, had 8 in the first half tonight. And Lazard has worked him over pretty well. And we've got a foul. Lazard and Taylor coming to grips, and this one will go against Greg Lazard. There's a couple of big horses there, Tom. Greg Lazard, Norman Taylor.
Yes, but the Falcons' big men are really taking the game to the Hawks' big men tonight. They're really dominating the inside position, which is something you don't see often.
Norman Taylor gets it up and in. 69-60. Taylor, who had few first half opportunities, done some pretty good defense from Lazard. Hill almost had that stripped off him by Hubbard, who's played a sterling game along the baseline. James Bullock, Lazard with the follow, can't make it, and Patrick Fairs is off to the races. He's got Hubbard. Good pass to Johnson, reverse layup that doesn't go. Fairs again.
And I think that's something that Patrick hasn't been doing. One thing in the first half.
James Bullock for 2.
One of the few criticisms of the game about Patrick was he wasn't rebounding, helping out down there.
Again they go to Taylor, but cut it out well. Good job from Chris Steele at the back to save it on the end line. Up they come quickly. Got numbers this time. Lazard over the top of Chuck Harmison. And they cut that lead to 7 again at 71-64 on this shot from Greg Lazard. That's been a good opener to the third quarter from the Newcastle Falcons. And almost a steal again to Peter Hill. So they've come out with a whole lot more purpose in the third quarter. Remember, this is a team that's lost 7 straight. The Illawarra Hawks are in 5th position. And a steal to Michael Johnson. Cut the ball out in front of Rod Johnson. 2 more, cuts it to 5. It's 71-66. 3.5 minutes down in the third quarter. They came with a run at the start of the second quarter. Question of whether they can sustain it. Chuck Harmison steadies the Hawks with 2. 73-66.
But the Falcons' youngsters, Steele and Hill, have made a big difference in this quarter, giving some real strength to it that they weren't having earlier in the game.
Oh, good defense there from Hubbard to force the bad pass, or firstly stop the shot from Michael Johnson and in turn force the bad pass. Hubbard again. Can't make it, and Lazard grabs the board. Chance to bring it back to 5 again. Inside, a good move from Steele. So it's 73-67. Good move there from Chris Steele to go right inside Norman Taylor. Harmison can't do it again. Can they bring it back to 3 here? The Hawks and the Falcons, who are on a real tear. Screen there from Steele, but Harmison fought over the top, but Bullock staying with it and can't hit that one. Norman Taylor's board. He grabbed 8 rebounds in the first half. Rod Johnson it is, lays it up there and grabs the foul out of Chris Steele. So Rod Johnson will go to the free throw line. So that's the second team foul against the Falcons for the quarter, 3 against the Hawks. And Rod Johnson off the free throw line hits. The Hawks are 8 of 8 from the stripe against the Falcons, who are 9 of 19. So they keep that 100% record off the free throw line alive. Hill quickly up over half court. It looks so much better when they push the ball out of the backcourt. Johnson almost with the steal on Lazard, got Harmison into the air and couldn't make the shot. Lazard again and pokes it up over the front of the ring. 75-70. Still the Hawks by 5. Three-point shot from Patrick Bears. That's a long way out and couldn't make it. Too long. Steele on the left. Stops and pops and hits. And that will bring time out from David Lindstrom. He's seen enough of this. The lead has cut to 3 points. At half-time, it was 13 at 67-54. The Hawks have only added 8 points in the third quarter to the Falcons' 18. Do it now, but see if this timeout has slowed the Falcons up at all. Rod Johnson, look at the screen from Harmison. 3-point shot from Johnson. Can't make it again. The Hawks, the 3-point game, which has been so good to them all year, has gone cold on them. Lazard posting up again, looking to take on Norman Taylor. Keeping the ball alive on the paint, gets it up and in. And they cut the lead to 1 at 75-54. Substitution coming from the Hawks. Rod Johnson goes out. Peter Rousel comes in. Be interesting to see who Rousel picks up. But the guys that are doing the damage at the moment are Lazard and James Bullock. Shot here for Chuck Harmison. Can't hit it, but it's still the Hawks' ball with Hubbard off the free throw line. That's a tough shot. Plenty of defense up there. He had a hand in his face and still made it. 77-74. Hill to Johnson. Patrick Bears has done a super job on Michael Johnson. Lazard on the turnaround, way too long of the shot. Air ball, Michael Johnson the other side. Made a mess of it, but Lazard takes on 5 Hawks. Can he score against them? No, he can't. Just too many bodies on there, too many white shirts. Rousel for 2 easy ones, and suddenly nothing's going for them. Falls off the rim.
Yeah, it's hard to come in the game and take one on the run on the fast break like that straight up.
So it's Rousel on Hill. Michael Johnson trying to get it down low. He's got Hubbard on it at the moment. It would be a bad match. It's James Bullock going one-on-one on Chuck Harmison at the moment, off the side of the backboard. And the Hawks are off and running. They got numbers this time, 4-on-1. And a big foul. Probably lucky not to be called an intentional there on Peter Hill. He made sure that Chuck Harmison wasn't going to score that. That was a pretty big swipe. And he didn't really go for the ball. But Harmison will go to the line to shoot 2 on a 3-point ball game. It's 77-74. So Harmison at the line. Remember, the Hawks have not missed off the stripe. The Falcons have struggled from the same spot. 4:40 to go in the third quarter, and we got a 4-point ball game. It looked like a blowout at the start of the game. 41-23 it was at the first quarter break. And the first miss off the line to the Hawks, and they almost made a 3-point play. Yes, they do. Substitution with Peter Harvey coming back and Peter Hill going out. Withers coming in and Harmison going out for the Hawks. So Chuck Harmison takes a seat. 80 points to 74. The Hawks have a little bit more breathing space again. But I'm sure this Falcons team on a run will come breathing down the backs of their necks again. That'll be a charge against James Bullock as he left Justin Withers on the floor. Just dropped the shoulder into him. And James Bullock has 3 fouls. Greg Lazard has 3. For the Hawks, Harmison and Withers have 3 apiece. So there's not too much in that. You notice in the background Neil Turner getting ready to come back in for the Newcastle Falcons. Norman Taylor starting to go to work. Turner will come in and take out Bullock. It's a question whether the Falcons can stay with it with Bullock out of there.
Well, I don't think he'll be out too long, Phil. I think if I was Ken Cole, I'd give him a minute or two, give the other big man a minute or two, and then play out the quarter.
Neil Turner must have been close to getting a 5-second tie-up on the end line then. 8-point lead to the Hawks. It had been cut to 2 to 1 that. Lazard wants it, but Taylor fronted him. Harvey got Fairs on him. Steele works it over on the inside, and that was a poor shot. Yes, almost everything.
Just a little bit beyond his ability to do quite that far away from the basket.
Fairs with Peter Harvey on him. Patrick Fairs took him apart in the first half. Norman Taylor, and that'll be a foul on Greg Lazard, and that'll be number 4. And Norman Taylor will go to the line. Incredulous look from him.
I thought it might have been Chris Steele. He had a hand in there as well.
So Lazard with a 4th foul, and that's the sort of thing that can really hurt this Newcastle Falcons team, because they do, we said at the start of the game, they rely on their starting 5 so much. It's when they have to dig into the bench that the cracks appear. They are getting Grant Kruger ready to come in for Greg Lazard. So Taylor makes 2 off the line. Opens up to a 10-point game again at 84-74. Harvey screen coming from Turner, but Harvey went the other way. Lazard trying to work on Taylor, try and get that extra foul on him. Good hustle there from Justin Withers, but just couldn't quite hold onto it.
Yes, Lazard needs to take a page out of Norman Taylor's book. When you've got 3 men on you, dish it out to one of the men on the outside.
Problem. Peter Hill was left on the floor, and Peter Harvey stays with it, goes via the cape to get to the other side. It looked like he dribbled right around the perimeter, think, I want to take on Norman Taylor, and they've got a foul on Taylor. So it was a pretty good move from Peter Harvey. He went right around until he found Norman Taylor and said, I'll take you on. So Norman Taylor's 3rd personal.
Yes, just moved a bit to the right, a bit unlucky though. I think there's no doubt his feet were set. It's just a question, I think they called him for moving the top part of the body to the right there.
So Harvey off the line. Can he do a little better from the strike? Well, he wobbles one in. 84-75. It's an important part of the game here for both teams, because it's a question of whether we've got a double foul from the rebounders. Maybe Patrick Fairs and someone else. I'll have to wait to see who the call was. I didn't see who Fairs lined up again. So it's gone against Grant Kruger, I think. Kruger and Fairs.
And again, that's the kind of call last week. They just let him play on, gave him a warning and had a jump at it. A foul like that hurts the Hawks a lot more.
And we might have another one. Grant Kruger giving Patrick Fairs a shove in the jump ball. Kruger loves to get in there and throw his body around. He might throw his body onto the bench in a moment. In fact, he is right now, as the coach Ken Cole's had enough and brings in James Carr. So Kruger, who hasn't played a lot of minutes this year, and at that sort of clip with the fouls, I think he played 6 minutes last week for 4 fouls and racked up 2 quick ones there. So Patrick Fairs off the free throw line. As a result of the Kruger foul, which is the team's 7th in the quarter. 1-1. Inside 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Hawks to open up a 10-point break on this shot, if they do. Make that 10, yeah, 86-76. Oh, big start for James Carr. Didn't know the ball was coming. And off his hands and out of bounds. Withers. In front of there from Neil Turner, Norman Taylor, plenty of pressure, and we're going to get a foul here. The shot didn't go down. It's going to put Norman Taylor at the free throw line though, and the foul goes against Neil Turner. Now, Turner has 3, Bullock has 3, and Lazard 4 for the Newcastle Falcons.
And I think the first time that Norman had the ball, the whole crowd thought you could have picked any one of 3.
So Taylor. Remember, they've only missed once from the stripe. The Falcons have missed plenty. 87-76. But there's been a whole lot more purpose in this Falcons team in the third quarter. They could have laid down and died, but they've really come out with some purpose. Michael Johnson has had a blanket on him all night. This time it's in the form of Peter Rousel. Hasn't been able to get the ball, almost to steal the Hubbard. Harvey looking for Turner in the post-up. And again for Carr, but they couldn't grab hold of the ball again. And that'll be a charge, I would think. In fact, it's not. It's against the defensive man, Harvey. The referee said he wasn't there. I thought he almost had his feet set. I thought he'd been there a while. Norman Taylor with a few instructions there from Coach Lindstrom. So that's going to put Greg Hubbard at the line to shoot 1-and-1. Greg Hubbard, who's had a pretty fine game in this one, Tom.
Yes, his defense for the help out in the first half was excellent. Anytime somebody turned their head, he was looking to pick up the loose ball and take off with it.
On the line, no trouble there. And 89-80, it's 90-76. So a couple of costly turnovers by the Falcons as they go into almost a 1-4 set again on offense. Turner looking to take Taylor on, off Taylor's face and out of bounds. Little heady play there from Norman Taylor and a smile across the big man's face. He realised he should have picked that one off. Looked for the screen, but trying to open up baseline. And Johnson finally gets a shot off, but it's Justin Withers' rebound. Hubbard so quickly up the floor. And right across to Patrick Fairs, dump off Rousel, and can't make the two. But it is Norman Taylor on the other end. No easy one.
It just lets him lean a while.
Get two eventually. So the game that was a 1-point game is suddenly a 16-point game at 92-76. Harvey can't make it, but gets it again. Little quick with that second shot. He burped it up there because he knew there were plenty of defense there. Justin Withers can't make that one as it rolls out. And Turner leaves him on the floor. I think Withers might save that one up. Off the free throw line is Peter Harvey. 92-78. Taylor again, and has that one blocked by Turner, but comes back and gets it again. 94-78, inside the final minute of the third quarter. So the Hawks, who had a 13-point break at half, will go to the fourth quarter with an even bigger one after having looked awfully different during the quarter. Neil Turner can't make it. Michael Johnson over the top of Norman Taylor, and nothing. Taylor again.
And Michael Johnson really does have a spring on him to get all the way up there. And there's a man with some springs, Peter Rousel.
Rousel took that to the hoop with a purpose. Michael Johnson gets it over the top of Norman Taylor and down. 96 points to 80. Don't blink in this one, you might miss something. Because neither team is fiddling about with the ball too much at the moment. Now the Hawks slow it up. Because there's just 7 seconds left on the clock to end the third quarter. Patrick Fairs for two more. And it's 98-80, and that siren says that 3 quarters are gone here at the Snake Pit. We'll be back in a moment. Haven't been able to handle his quickness offensively or defensively, and Norman Taylor has broken the shackles there for 2 more. 103-84. Taylor has 22. This time Steele looking to take his man on. He does that pretty well. He did it a couple of times in the third quarter. 103-86.
Yes, as long as he can stay inside the 10-foot range, and I think he's about right with that shot.
So they open up that perimeter again. The 4 men on the perimeter with Taylor underneath. Bring the big men on the outside. The guards on the wings. That's the way they can take it on. Justin Withers takes his man to the hoop.
Yes, he saw his man leave and go to help out on Norman. The Hawks recognized it. Good relay and around to the open man.
105-86. Here he is again, this time Steele losing it. Patrick Fairs. And he aimed for his man that time, but always had the man Harvey in trouble. And it's going to be the Hawks ball from the side. Wasn't into the shooting motion. But we want a chat here between David Lindstrom and referee Roger Shields. He's asking for some sort of clarification, I think.
Well, I think he said he was pretty well on the way to the basket. If he would have got much further with some of the dunks he's done, he would have been over the top.
Well, I thought he was headed left. I thought he wanted to make sure there was some contact there. Norman Taylor can't make it. Bullock pushes it up quickly. Does that so well from the backcourt, but the pass was too good for Chris Steele to drag in. And it's 105.86. Almost a steal for Michael Johnson, but Rod Johnson took it out of his grasp. 2-point shot from Sluggo Johnson. No, not this time. But it's still a Hawks ball, as Harvey wasn't able to control. Lenny Lembo's coming back in for Rod Johnson. And Patrick Fairs, who's done a lot of things right in this game. Lenny Lembo, there was a shot there for him, but he didn't recognise it. Wasn't looking at the basket.
Well, I think they want to milk the clock down now in every opportunity.
Tried to give the ball away and couldn't. Harvey trying to rebound there in front of Taylor, and Hubbard spilling it out over the end line, gives the ball back to the Falcons. So 6:40 to go, and it's 105.86. And the Falcons don't look like making an impression on the lead right now. And reaching there from Norman Taylor right across the arm, and Bullock is mad, and he can afford to be too, because he really got whacked on that shot. They came up with points in the end. And Bullock there saying to the referee, hey, it happened just before that, but they get the points. Ben Morrissey gets his first taste of action tonight, coming in off the bench. And Patrick Fairs advances the ball against Harvey. Lembo taking on Michael Johnson. Ended up sitting on the floor, but Norman Taylor gets points.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Norman just stands there and the ball goes towards him.
Haven't looked for Lazard in the last 10 minutes or so. Johnson can't make it. Taylor grabs it. They really haven't looked for him at all. He did a pretty good job in the post for a while there against Norman Taylor, but nothing coming his way at the moment. Justin Withers, that first time move inside, which makes it so strong. He establishes position, puts the hand up there and just goes with it once the ball comes. Hasn't got the moves of Norman Taylor, but that first step is very quick. 109-88. Harvey for three, and finally Peter Harvey buys a three-point shot. That might even be the first three for the Newcastle Falcons tonight. 109-90. Ben Morrissey, baseline drive for him. Bit too much on the shot though, and Norman Taylor again with the dregs. He's picked up plenty of garbage in this final quarter. 111-90. James Bullock, a little bit of a shuffle on the takeoff again, is called to travel, and they turn it over yet once again. That ball's got to come all the way back, the referee said, that Ben Morrissey ran too far up the court before throwing it in.
Sort of improving your position, like a little bit of a better lie, Phil.
Exactly. Put your marker down in one spot, and when you put your ball back on the green, it's a couple of feet closer. 21-point game, inside 5 minutes to go. Three-point shot from Withers. He hasn't been able to connect on one of those tonight after hitting 3 or 4 last week. What a difference a week makes. Harvey thought about the 3, and Morrissey hit him from behind. And in fact, that's the first foul of the quarter against the Illawarra Hawks. Only 2 fouls against the Falcons too, so it shows a little drop-off in intensity in this quarter. Low post. is Bullock working on the inside, and a charge against James Bullock. The James Bullock's 4th personal foul. Bullock, Lazard and Harvey have 4.
But there's no point. The last, really for this quarter, the 2 big men from the Falcons have been playing like they've been on 4. They've got to go ahead and play. Doesn't make any difference whether you lose by 20 or 30. They've got to go out and go hard.
Well, Lazard has virtually stopped. Coming out here to block Morrissey. It takes over back on Taylor now. But Taylor has really had a picnic on the offensive boards in this quarter. Patrick Fairs from a long way out, and a big rebound for James Bullock. Bullock looking to take it coast to coast, and does it with a dunk. 111-92. If we're going to dribble this ball this far, I'm going to shoot it as well. Taylor looking underneath. Fairs was streaking the baseline, but Harvey was with him. Plenty of movement at the moment with Taylor out the front with the ball. Fairs, 10-second warning buzzer goes off, and Fairs can't hit it, but Taylor will come up with it. And Norman Taylor, tip from Withers that doesn't go. Taylor's still there, but Bullock is. And that will be a Falcons ball. It came off the back of the board. Should be a Falcons ball. The Falcons going the other way. A technical foul. It's gone against the Falcons. Now, Tom, to my mind, Justin Withers slapped that ball up and it hit the back of the board.
Well, I think that's correct. Actually, I thought James Bullock was a little bit fortunate because while the ball was on the ground, when he went to go for it, he gave Norman Taylor a big left arm, just to don't argue, get out of the way, and the referee missed it altogether. So in the wrap-up around, it's come the other way.
Well, the tech foul has gone against James Bullock, and he's out of the game with 5. So as a result of the technical, Norman Taylor lines up at the stripe to shoot 2. Pretty good crowd in here at the Snake Pit tonight. It's never usually too many empty seats in this place. And they've seen the Hawks come up with another victory. And they'll retain their spot in 5th place on the ladder after this one. 113-92. There have been plenty of upsets in this round of games, but not this one here tonight. Most people would have picked Illawarra to win this. And Turner got a piece of that one last. Ken Cole calls timeout with 3 minutes to go, and his team bound by 21. 113-92. That's the 4th team foul. Well, that was the 2nd team foul against the Hawks. There's 4 against the Falcons in this quarter.
And it is a young Hawks lineup in there right now. Talk about going with youth.
Yeah, no Norman Taylor, no Patrick Fairs, no Chuck Harmison. And the shot goes down from Greg Lazard. Yeah, Peter Russell's a real old man out there at the moment. No Greg Hubbard. They've virtually got the bench on there. Justin Withers is a starter out there. And Lazard brings it out of the backcourt, grabbed up by Michael Johnson to dump off to Peter Harvey, and he's been hit from behind. So Harvey will go to the free throw line.
That'll be 4 on Withers.
So Justin Withers 4th, Peter Harvey at the stripe. But there are certain parallels between these 2 clubs, because both Ken Cole and David Lindstrom opted in the last couple of years to go with younger players and build them up. Well, the Hawks have had a lot more success with their younger players than the Falcons have. One of the particular differences in there that, for instance, in the last couple of years where the Newcastle Falcons had Jerry Everett on the side, Michael Johnson and other American players, that the youngsters haven't had the go that they have here in Wollongong.
Well, I think some of that might be, too, that David Lindstrom, you remember, coached a university back in America where you learn how to coach young players, and he had a number of years when he left the St. Kilda club and went back there, or the Tigers went back there and did that. And I think he probably picked out a fair number of things to bring players of this age group along.
Almost a turnover there from Withers. In fact, it is, and this could be Lazard for a slam. And in fact, under some pressure from Peter Rousel, just makes the 2 easy ones. But it's back to 13 points. And this game could have been 20 plus. But the Falcons getting back some cheap points right now with the youngsters on the court. 113-100. And Lenny Lembo hits a 3. And it's been a while since we've seen one of those. Michael Johnson to get 2 more easy ones and the lay-in at the other end. 116-102. Rousel pushing it up out of the back court. And there's plenty of youthful exuberance out there at the moment. Michael Johnson's foul is going to put Peter Rousel at the line to shoot 1-1. That's the 5th team foul.
Yes, well, it was good to see Limbo pot that one. He's just had his troubles with shooting this year, and there's no reason. Just have some confidence. He's a great shooter. We saw that last year. As you said, Phil, it's a matter of confidence. Perhaps that one will get him started. He'd be a big asset if he gets that shooting rhythm going again that he had last year.
Rousel, the oldest Hawk out there at age 23. And plenty of 20-year-olds out there and 18-year-olds in Dean McDonald. Steele to Turner, who hasn't had a lot of court time tonight. Perhaps could have deserved more. Harvey, who short with that one. And it remains at 118-102 with just 45 seconds to go. Lembo, can he make it 2 in a row? Yes, he can. And Leonard Lembo hits from the outside, and it's 121-102 with a pair of threes from Lenny Lembo that keeps this crowd excited. So is Lembo finding the touch again? Michael Johnson with a good feed that came from Harvey. 121-104. McDonald to Lembo, 3 in a row. Not this time, Lenny. Off Rousel and Falcons ball. Oh, in fact, it's a Hawks ball. Must have come off Michael Johnson. 20 seconds left. And Rousel looking to take his man on. Post-up play from Dean McDonald. Has it blocked from Turner and stays with it. Did well to stay with it. And Dean McDonald's first points of the ball game. Lembo again. Not this time, and McDonald for another 2. 125-104, and that'll be all she wrote. That will be the final score here at the Snake Pit. Just repeating it. Illawarra Hawks 125, the 8th straight loss for the Newcastle Falcons at 104.
Well, the Illawarra Hawks continuing their very good form in season 1990, and they storm along on their way to a spot in this year's final series. Next week, Saturday night shootout clashes the match between the Newcastle Falcons and the Perth Wildcats from the Doomsday Double Trip. Hope you can join us then. On behalf of all the crew, I'm Mike Rabid, bidding you good evening.